That was Eduardo Rodriguez talking about why he used his veto power. And don't get me wrong. He's earned that right. Scott Harris knew that. He's played in the league. It's part of his he's negotiated that in his contract. I'm not blaming him for that. I am a little upset that he allowed it to get this far without simply saying, guys, I already told you I'm not going to L.A., so put the phone down, call somebody else. Now, for that, yeah, I am going to say he deserves some of the blame. He could have ended this. Harris says, I've been in constant contact with them. He even said, yeah, we talked. At what point do you simply say, quit the L.A. stuff, I am not going? But bottom line, in the end, this does fall on Scott Harris because you're the president. You were supposed to get this thing done. You thought that you could sweet talk everybody and make it happen, and it didn't. And what exactly happened? It's a lot of speculation. I don't know.
Well, here's
but you hear him talking about family. Go ahead.
Well, but here's what everything I hear, and of course they're beating around the bush. They can't really tell, but Scott Harris last night in his talk to the media is saying, well, it's not really for me to say. Erod speaks, it's not for me to say. Well, clearly it's something.
248-539-9797. It's for somebody to say. The Dodgers aren't going to say anything. When everybody is going radio silent, that normally means I don't think it was anything to do with baseball. I think it was personal. And you kept hearing Erod talk about family. So maybe this was, I don't know. Maybe it was a family-related issue. Remember, this man left last year and was gone for a month for personal reasons because of his family. So I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but I got a feeling that was a part of this. But if you're Scott Harris, you had to know this. Now, for Scott, you got to live with this, man. You screwed this up. You made a huge mistake. Your equity is gone. Your honeymoon is over. Now, you got to step up and you got to do something in order to make this right. Because Tiger fans are sitting here wondering what the heck just happened. What do you mean the trade didn't go through? What? You're the GM. I mean, you're the president. You didn't hire a GM. How did you not make this thing happen? Everybody and their mother knew you were going to trade Erod. Why didn't you have other pieces in place? And I think he didn't have other pieces in place because I think he had a pretty sweet deal with the Dodgers.
I think he did.
We will never know the context of this. And I do believe this is going to fall down in Detroit sports lore of one of those things that you kind of hear rumors about, but you never really know. Doug Karsh brought up a great example. Like, why didn't Max Buller play in the Rose Bowl? We'll never. People say they know, but we'll never know. Why was Xavier Simpson behind Ward Manuel's wife's car? Nobody's ever said. We will never know. You know, why did a certain Tiger just up and get traded? We've heard rumors. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
See, and
what was his name?
Garcia.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, but here's the thing. Whatever internal things that can't be discussed regarding this, in the end, you're right. It is on Scott Harris. Because the belief, and we talked about it as we were ending the show yesterday, the belief is that the 10 teams were West Coast teams.
Right.
So just stay away from West Coast teams, get the deal done. That's how you do this. You just stay away from them and you get it done elsewhere.
And see, honestly, Erod can't talk about it. Scott Harris can't talk about it. Leads me to think that there's some other faction in this, because I do think that those two spoke and they knew what was happening. But in the end, it got nixed. It was the most uncomfortable phone call, I bet, of, hey, I can't go to L.A. Can't do it. So part of this is on Erod, because you could have stopped this foolishness. You could have simply said, you know this. You know I'm not going to L.A. I put it on my list for a reason. They're not in the equation. that's a no, that's a deal breaker. You let it go and you let it continue, which led Scott Harris to think, I got your blessing. Harris went on with the deal. It didn't go through. Scott Harris is going to have to make this up to the city. He's going to have to make this up to the Tigers. He's going to have to make this up, period. You blew it. This was your first real trade as the president of this team, and you were brought in to be this boy wonder savior, and you fell on your face in front of not just Detroit, but in front of Major League Baseball. It was embarrassing. Now, it doesn't mean you have to stay down. You get up and you go out there and show that you're more than this. But for right now, you got to own this. You got to wear this. You can't hide from this. And we are going to constantly keep asking you questions about it. And maybe 5-10 years from now, we'll find out the truth. But right now, everybody kind of knows this seems fishy. Something ain't, you're not telling us something. I don't know what it is. There's something out there you're not telling us because you don't go this far to have a trade fall apart an hour before the deadline. 248-539-9797. Let's just go straight to the phone lines. Chad, you're on 97.1.
Hey, what's up, Rico?
Hey, man.
Hey, I think you're one of the most level-headed people on the radio, but your take on this is absolutely wild to me.
Okay.
Because, and you know, I'm not being disrespectful or anything.
Chad,
but
we're talking. Go ahead. Tell me.
Right. I think y'all are crazy if you don't think that Erod said, yes, I will do the trade to the Dodgers. Scott Harris got it done. Last second, he said he didn't want to do it. He changed his mind.
Right.
Now, why? I don't know. You know, but I don't see how that's on Scott Harris. And I understand ultimately the buck stops here, right? That's the saying.
And Chad, and we're going to continue this conversation. Don't go anywhere. And that's the reason why I'm blaming Scott, because you have to make sure that everybody, 100% of the people are all on board before you take that final step. I think he had 99% of the people on board. But as the president, you got to make sure, because if this goes bad, it falls in your lap and it blows up in your face. And that's what happened. I'm not giving him 100% of the blame, but he's going to take the majority of it because he's the one in charge.
Which I understand that. That's the price you pay to be the leader, right? But when you have a man tell you and his agent say, yes, this is a done deal, and then another point that I have is, I mean, just to trade people for prospects don't turn out 9 times out of 10. So this is not like some huge thing where, oh my God, we didn't get these prospects of major league players that 9 out of 10 times are going to fail anyhow.
Well, but see, here's the thing though, Chad. I do think that you may have gotten 1 or 2 top 100 prospects from the Dodgers, which there are better chances that those guys actually stick in the league. It's like a 5-star recruit in football or basketball. Could be a bust, or a first-round pick in the NFL draft. Could be a bust, but chances are that person's going to hit more than bust.
Well, chances are that they probably won't hit, but I understand what you're saying. Also, maybe a conversation, and this is just pure speculation, is Erod's going to sign with the Tigers next year. He loves it here, and that's what he wants to do. And a guy that has a sub-3 ERA and is in his prime is better than any prospect.
It is, Chad, and I appreciate the phone call. Now, the problem with that is you can still make the trade and bring him back. And now you have the pieces from the Dodgers and you have Erod. That's how I would work that. It wasn't just, oh, we're just going to keep you here. No, here's the deal. I want to bring you back. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to make you a great offer. But for right now, I'm going to put you on a contender out with the Dodgers, give you a chance to win the World Series. You leave for 2 months, and we're going to try and bring you back and do everything we can. And now we'll have you and the Dodgers pick. So I look at this. Like I said, Harris, I blame for making the rookie mistake. I do. I hope you learn something, and I hope you're never in this situation again. I don't think it's all his fault at all. I think he actually did what we wanted him to do. He just didn't get the deal done. Now, I know it sounds like, well, what do you're kind of talking out both sides of your mouth. Well, I'm not. I think Scott Harris did everything he was supposed to do, but in the end, Rodriguez nixed the deal, which he can do. But you should have known that. You should have known everything before you were trying to consummate this deal. And I think he took some things for granted. That's the mistake that he made. That's what he's going to have to live with. 248-539-9797. Your phone calls, your ticket text, next 97.1.